If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Bumbershoot, where we're covering life's chaos with humor and heart. And today, gosh, we have like a little, we changed it up a little bit, Tracy.
Yes.
Tracy and I are here, your tried and truers.
Yep.
But we're missing Rhonda in her place. We've got Cousin Gina today.
Hi.
Cousin Gina came out to visit me from, Newport Beach and Paso. She lives in two places. And Gina and I grew up together. We used to spend the summers together because she lived in Fullerton. Gina, get to that microphone. Hi. She's a little intimidated by the mic, which is funny because Gina and I are really, really, like, we're the hams of the family. So when do we get her to, like, not talk in the mic? It's like, why aren't you in the mic? Anyways, so we grew up together. You used to come spend the summers with me. You lived in Fullerton.
Yep. Yeah.
And why did you come spend the summers with me in Temecula, California?
Oh, gosh. Well, you had a car.
Well, not when I was in middle school.
No. I don't know. I just loved being around you.
Oh, I wasn't
like
plugging for that. Thank you. It was. We had fun together. No, we did. And our moms were really close. Our dads are first cousins.
Yeah.
And so our moms were married to the dads, which made us, we can't really figure it out. It's like, I don't think we're second cousins, but we're just cousins. But biologically, there's some kind of lineage roles here.
I don't even think of you as a second cousin.
No, I know, but for the understanding of the people. Okay. Because we are cousins. That's
our dads being cousins puts us next to
we just want to know what everyone thinks. Are we second cousins?
I don't know what
third cousins.
Did you guys do Ancestry? Because it'll tell you on there what you exactly are.
Right. Have you done it? Because I've done it.
No. You both have to have done it, obviously. Well, you're probably second cousins.
No, but I think your brother and I tried to talk it out one time. And I think you were a second cousin.
He's wrong.
You're a second cousin to my dad, I think.
Oh.
Which I think makes me a second cousin to your dad, which makes me a third cousin, technically.
Well, let's not think
but we're so not, we're so not that. It's like, we grew up together. Our parents, although cousins, best friends growing up. So we spent, and our older sisters are all friends, and your brother, not friends, but
well, we did a lot of family trips too. So a lot of family trips. We're all the same age. We connected in that aspect. And then as we got older, everybody kind of went their own different ways. And then you and I still stayed connected. So the summers would come around. We're like, okay. Then you go for the summer. You're like, you go for a week, but no, I don't want to go home yet.
Yeah.
1 week turned into two turned into three.
And Mom and Dad were always so happy to have her there. And I was so happy when she was there. So it was like, we had a lot of fun. Aww. And Temecula boys, because she's from Fullerton, not just because of this, but she's from Fullerton. It's a city. I mean, her school is big, and the Temecula boys were like, oh, fresh blood, Charity's cousin. They were all about that. She's like, I didn't know that till right now.
I wish I would have. Maybe I'd be living in Temecula right now.
Darn it, you should have set her up with someone from TVHS.
I know, that would have been great. Well, we kind of did for a minute. She's not going to say it.
That's another podcast.
We'll go see the horses.
I was like scratching my head. What?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
He said, what?
He took you into the dark and asked you to go see the horses? What is that? Anyway, but we had a great time. So anyways, welcome, Gina.
Thank you.
But as you guys know, we are in a series of interviewing I don't like to say interviewing, it sounds so formal, but chatting with our beneficiaries and family members of Charity for Charity. And so I'm very excited to have our Kaila girl here. Kaila is Jacob's mom, and Jacob came to us. Hi, I'm videoing so I could put this on the Charity for Charity Bumbershoot Instagram. We are transparent here. We're not faking it. So anyway, Jacob came to us, and I'm going to let Kaila tell us a little bit about. So hi, Kaila, welcome. Thank you for being here. Kaila, tell us how Charity for Charity came to you and kind of your perspective of how that all went down.
So Jacob was 18 months old when everything happened with him.
What happened with him? Nobody knows.
Oh, no one knows. You're right. 100%. When he was 18 months old, we were home one day. He got sick one morning. He had fallen and hit his head against our bed frame. And when he hit his head, he had just woken up in the morning. It was 6:30 in the morning. So then he started to get tired. It didn't seem right to me. My mom instinct kicked in. Then he kept wanting to go to sleep. And I was like, no, nothing. This isn't right. This isn't right. Kept keeping him up. But then he started throwing up. Progressively throughout the day, he continued to throw up and wanting to sleep, not wanting to eat. I called my husband, Steven, and told him, hey, I need to take him to the ER. Something's not right. We took him to urgent care. They said, no, since he hit his head, you need to take him in to see if he had a concussion or not. So I did. And we went to Rancho Springs, and they took him back for a CAT scan. And that's when I think my world flipped. It was the moment that I saw the doctor had tears in her eyes. The nurse had tears in her eyes. And they're coming to walk into the room where I also have my two other sons.
Where was Steven?
Steven was working, and then he met me there because I called him and I was like, no, I need you to come now because something doesn't seem right. So he met me there. We had all our boys. We're all in a room and they're walking in, then security comes, and in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, they called CPS on me. Something's wrong. Like, of course, I'm thinking the worst of the worst. And they asked to pull me and Steven aside into a room, and the nurse would stay with our other two boys. So when they did that, the other two boys stayed behind. We went into the room with Jacob and the doctor and the security. And the doctor said, I'm sorry, but we found a tumor on your son's cerebellum that's the size of a golf ball.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
After that, I don't remember the rest of the conversation.
Yeah.
Tears just started flowing from
18 months.
18 months old.
Oh,
so it didn't
gosh.
seem right to me. And I kept I looked at Steven. Steven's looking at me, and I could just hear him say, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And she's like, yes, unfortunately, you guys are going to leave. We're going to transport you guys to CHLA. Well, mind you, we're in Temecula. Like we had just moved to Temecula in June, the year before. So this was April. Year. Yeah. So it was April 2019.
So just here. 10 months.
Yeah. We weren't here very long. Our family was in San Diego. So we didn't have a family here or base here at all. So for us, it was kind of like, what are we doing? What's happening? And she's like, you guys aren't leaving. You know, the ambulance is going to come and they're going to transport you to CHLA. And the first thing I thought, well, what about my other kids?
Yeah.
So I look at Steven, and he calls his mom, who had to come from San Diego, which it's 5:00 on a Friday. So there's traffic. She wasn't going to make it here in time. So fortunately, we had really good neighbors who were able to take our kids until she got there to her house. And I had to stay at the hospital, and they came to pick us up. They transported Jacob and I to CHLA, but I still remember sitting in that ambulance, and they wouldn't let me sit in the back with him.
Oh gosh.
No,
and I had to sit in the front, and I just remember him crying the whole time. And I was like crying. Baby. Yeah, I was a baby and didn't know what was going on.
Gosh,
and they're like poking him, prodding him. And I'm just like, I just want to be back there with my kid. Like, let me, and they're like, no, I'm so unfortunately, you need to stay in front. And so we get to the hospital around 11:00. Steven was supposed to meet me. Like, he came about an hour or so later. And the nurse, I will never forget her words. The nurse, when we went upstairs, because they put us in the NICU, it was at Kaiser, because they didn't take us to CHLA. They took us to Kaiser instead. And the NICU nurse told me, she asked me what happened. I explained to her, and she said his angel pushed him.
Oh my God. That just gave me the
oh my gosh, me too.
And I said, what? And I just looked at her, and she said, yes, because where his tumor is, it could easily go into his spine and spread, and there'll be nothing to do.
Oh my gosh.
So my chills are out of control. So you know, it's not like I've not known you for a minute. Oh my gosh.
So I just looked at her, and I just stayed quiet because I had no words at that point.
Right.
And the crazy part about it, Jacob was still smiling and laughing and loving because he had no idea what was going on.
Right.
And Steven finally got there and we slept overnight. The next day, the doctors came in, they did another MRI and told us he had to have surgery. And that surgery ended up lasting they told us it was 8-hour surgery, it lasted over 12.
Oh my gosh. And so you're not knowing what's going on.
Not knowing what's happening, no updates. As a mom, your stomach's like falling. I had no idea. I can admit I was not very much into faith before that moment, but I still remember like going to the chapel and praying like, please God, if I don't care what you take away from me, just make sure my son is okay.
Oh gosh.
And, at that point, I didn't have a good relationship with my mom. I called my mom and I was like, what do I do? Like, this is the one moment in time I need you. Like, I need mom advice. I have no idea what to do as a mom.
Wow.
And
gosh, this is big.
Yeah. So we stayed at Kaiser LA for 3 weeks. And during that 3 weeks, so it took us a week after they did the surgery, they were able to remove the complete tumor. Which
she got all of it?
All of it out. Wow. Which she told me there could be a chance that we don't. But when she came back, she said we were able to get everything. Oh, wow. And at this point, we just have to see, what happens next. And of course, Steven and I were like still in shock because we had no idea what to expect. We never went through anything before like this. So they waited a week. We got the biopsy. And sure enough, they came back and said it was medulloblastoma, stage 4.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So that's when the mom guilt really kicked in and was like, what did I do wrong? Aww. Why my kid? I was angry at everyone. I didn't understand why it could be, I was blaming God, why my family? Because at this point I was in a hospital because I didn't want to leave my child, but I still had 2 other kids at home who luckily my mother-in-law was able to take off of work, which I feel like God's timing is crazy because she was a home health nurse. Her patient had just died 2 weeks prior to all of this happening.
Oh my gosh. So
she was out of work.
So she was in between.
Yeah, she was in between jobs. So when everything happened, she was able to step up and come in and take care of my other kids. So I swear all of his timing just comes in the right way when it needs to. And she was home with my kids, but I would go home for maybe like 2-3 hours or try to spend. Steven was constantly pushing me, like, go home, take a shower, get clothes. But it would only be on Saturdays because he was working during the week still. So I was in a hospital room because I didn't want to leave my kid. There was no way I was leaving him behind. Nurses were like, go downstairs and get a cup of coffee.
Your baby.
Yeah.
It's really a baby.
My baby. Yeah. And the nurses would be like, go get a coffee. We'll watch him. I was like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Go get some water. No, I'm okay. Get fresh air. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I would not leave. And it was to the point like they were like pushing me like, no, you need to go outside.
Yeah.
Like you haven't had air. Please go outside. But I felt guilty, leaving him. What if something happens if I'm gone? And what if he wakes up and he needs me and I'm not here?
Right.
So all of the fear, I think, is what kicked in for me that I just couldn't separate. And when I did leave to go see my other children, I was constantly thinking of what was happening at the hospital. So that's when more guilt came in of I'm not being a present mom with everyone else because I'm still focused over there.
Oh, yeah.
So when they told us Jacob's diagnosis and they sent us home. Well, they gave us 50-50 option because that was my biggest question. How do we know that this is like with chemo? Because they said we're going to have to do chemo in the next 2 weeks. We need to hit this aggressively. He's going to have 9 rounds of chemo. We're going to do stem cell transplant. And I'm thinking like, he's a baby.
Yeah, that's a lot.
He's 18 months old. Like this doesn't make sense. Like, isn't there other options? Is there something else we can do? Because after the surgery, Jacob lost all mobility. He couldn't walk anymore. He couldn't talk.
Because it was his brain. It was brain surgery.
Yeah, and his cerebellum, where it was located, it was controlling all his mobility of everything.
Gosh.
So they asked me if there were signs that I noticed prior to everything happening. And I think there was only one day, like in the November, so this was April, so the November before that, where he got sick when he was like throwing up one day. And I took him to the hospital and they're just like, oh, it's just a stomach bug. But I guess because of the pressure, if there's pressure in your brain, it causes you to throw up.
Yeah.
And because he was a baby, he couldn't tell me that he was having, they're like, does he have headaches? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, he's not going to tell me he has a headache.
Yeah,
like,
he wasn't even a year if you think about November, right? Or just turned a year. Yeah, that's right.
14 months? He's not going to tell me that stuff. And they're like, what about his mobility? Like with walking? What did you notice? Like he was late with walking. And I like started to look back, and he was a little clumsy, but I thought, you're still a baby. You're learning how to walk. Like,
well, he's the third child, so like
we babied him. We picked him up and did everything for him. He didn't have to do anything.
Right.
So it didn't seem right. Like nothing stood out to me.
Right.
But the nurse's words just kept replaying in my head all the time. Kept replaying. I was like, okay, like I don't know. Something.
It was a beautiful statement that she made. Like that was profound.
Yeah, and when we finally got to go home, which was 3 weeks later, we were home for a little less than 2 weeks. And we then we met with family, and everyone in our family banded together and just created this village for us that I am so grateful for. As far as coming, they don't raise money for us to help us with childcare, food. They were constantly dropping off food to the hospital. Just there when we needed them 100%. And I will never forget, September day, I was in the hospital and my phone rings and I hear this voice, "Hi, I'm Charity." I'm like, huh? Like what? And
girl, stop being so happy right now.
Who is this? She's like, "Hi," and I get her Allison, and we were for charity. We just want to, let you know that you were selected. And I'm like, selected for what? I had no idea what was happening because I knew nothing about it before. And you guys invited us out to Peltzer for the Halloween day to the pumpkin patch. And you guys had asked, when we were going to get out, and I had no clue because at that point he was in between treatments, and we had to wait for numbers. Yes. So we're like, if we can make it, great. If we can't, I'm sorry, but I still was like, I don't know who these people are. And I hung up the phone and I Googled it. I'm like, who is Charity? It's Kaila. What is this organization? And I called Steven. I'm like, these people called me and they're saying that we won some wish thing and I have no idea what's happening. And he's like, what? So both of us were and she said that we were nominated and we could not rack our brains on who would possibly nominate us. Cannot figure it out. And it was our neighbors.
Aww.
And I was so grateful for them. And to this day, they will not take any credit for that.
Oh,
because I've thanked them so many times. They're like, no, you don't ever thank us. We knew, they were the first people when everything happened that were there. And they were offering to help any way they could, picking up kids from school, dropping off food. I remember his wife drove to LA, battled LA traffic just to take me clothes because I had no clothes.
Oh my God.
So since I had left straight from the hospital to LA, I had nothing with me.
Right, yeah.
She took me toothbrush, soap body wash, sweatpants, a sweatshirt. She's like, you need to change. You need to take a shower. You get your stuff together. Food and snacks. She was there, and I'm so grateful for that. And
that's community right there. That's something that I've talked about in a few podcasts, how, community is so important and 100%. Your connections. Yes. And I believe that that's probably the main thing that God intended for us on this earth is the 100%. Connections and community. And when people step up, it's there's a lot of people who have a hard time accepting help. Mm-hmm. And I think you rob other people of the joy of giving when you don't accept it. So I think it's perspective.
I didn't grow up with that. Yeah. I grew up with a tough skin. You just figure it out. Something happens to you, figure it out, type of thing. And so that.
Well, you have enough figuring out to do.
I know. At that moment, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what to figure out, and I didn't know what.
You know which one was up.
Yeah. And so when she did it, I was just it was foreign to me. Where I was just to accept anything. And I remember her telling me you need to accept help. Mm-hmm. If at any time in life you need to just say yes.
Yeah.
Someone's offering something, say yes.
Yeah.
Do not be stubborn. Do not be
right.
You need to do it.
Yeah. Don't be prideful.
Yes.
A lot of pride gets in the way. Yeah, but it is something, a lot of people don't accept their nomination because they're, the pride or they're embarrassed or whatever the reason is. People don't accept it.
I feel we were worthy enough for that. We didn't know. We just felt okay, well, this happens a lot. It's not, why us?
You're not the first one to have a kid with cancer.
I was thinking, well, no, but my son's okay now. He's fine. But I mean, realistically, I was always in fear. Mm-hmm. It was just,
and once a cancer patient, you're always a cancer patient.
Yes. 100%.
And even when you're in
Remission.
Yeah. To this day, any MRI, I still get that knot in my stomach. So it's still the same thing.
Well, and you go through so much. I think that, until, we witness it, and we've witnessed a lot of families going through a lot of things, but we don't live it. And it's a whole different thing when you live that and going through it. And the kids are going through it, like when you have siblings. Some of our Bennies have siblings and some of them don't. But even when you don't have siblings, the parents, the sacrifice, and the grandparents and the aunts and the uncles and the neighbors and the friends, everybody's going through it with you.
100%.
And I have one of my sisters had cancer, and she didn't really want to talk about it. And she was kind of like, if I don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. But we all knew that she had it, and we respected that she didn't want to, she wasn't about wearing the pink and all the things and the walks, but we cared about her and wanted to do things for her. And it was a little bit tough knowing how to support her without being able to really support her. So I think it's something, and I had told her that one time. I said, you were the first person to want to help other people when something happens to them, but then now something's going on with you, and you don't want to accept help. You don't want attention on it. And think about how it feels when you're able to do something for someone you love. Your neighbors love you in a different way than your family loves you, but they love you all the same. Yeah. So to be able to do something, because your hands you feel like your hands are tied when someone you love is faced with something like that. Yeah. So it is a message for people to allow people to help you.
Yes. 100%.
In whatever capacity. Food, sometimes I've heard food gets to be too much, and then you end up with too many things in your freezer. But it could be gas card. I think the biggest thing when a family's traveling to the hospital there and back, gas cards and food cards are big. Because
we did treatments in LA. So we were driving back and forth from Temecula.
Plus traffic.
Yeah, to CHLA. All his stem cell treatments were over there.
Yeah.
So we had to do that. And then San Diego, because of our insurance, we had Kaiser at the time. So they, never mind, I'm not going to say it. We had to go to LA to do everything. And it just was not helpful. Convenient. And I had to advocate to be in San Diego because I kept telling them, I have kids. This is my baby, but I have other kids. And my family's in San Diego. We're not here. We're not from LA.
Well, and you hit a nail on the head right there that the message I want to reiterate is just like when we were talking to Rosario, you have to self-advocate.
Yes.
You have to. It is not the role of the hospital to think for you and to know the best thing for you. And so in defense of all of them, they don't know. You have to, and then when they don't comply, you have to fight for it.
Oh, I did.
And insurance doesn't always comply, but you have to fight. And so and that's something that I encourage everyone, no matter how old the person that is in, 100%. You've got to advocate.
100%. It was ridiculous at one point where it was just every other week or a couple times a week I was driving over there, and I'm like, hey, this is far. Can't do this. And
your support system's not there.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I can't just be over there for weeks at a time, away from everyone and everything. I wanted to be close to family or people that I knew. Be able to see my kids.
Exactly.
And so when we, at the end of everything, we had to advocate to transfer him to Rady's Hospital.
In San Diego,
and they did not want to let us do that at all. And I had started that process, I think, around our third treatment, because they told me that his final stem cell transplant was going to be at CHLA and would be there for a month.
Oh, geez.
And this was during December, which is Christmas time.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, not happening.
Christmas time.
Yeah, I was like, nope, not going to happen. And they're like, well, I'm sorry, but this is what it is, and you can't change anything. And I was like, okay, well, I need to talk to somebody. So I turned to that person where it's like, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to you, I'll write letters, I didn't care. And they kept denying it, and until I guess they got tired of hearing from me.
There you go.
And then finally they're like, finally it was like, okay, fine, we'll transfer you.
Good.
And we were able to be at Rady's Children's Hospital in San Diego we had to stay there for a month though. And it was during Christmas. And I still remember Christmas was like a FaceTime call, which was not what we wanted. And it was very different. And it are all holidays. I miss birthdays. I still remember it's unfortunately in our family, everyone's birthdays are clustered together. We have 3 September birthdays. My birthday's in October, and we have a November birthday, and then the holidays hit us.
Oh,
so it's all back.
So you're in the hospital the whole time.
The whole time. So I would remember when birthdays would come around, I was like crying, like, okay, Jacob, your numbers need to be good. Like, we need to time out these like treatments so that we can make sure your numbers are good so we can go home.
He's 18 months going, okay, Mom, let me get my numbers good.
Let me figure this out for you. I'm like, and I would tell doctors, like, how can we make sure we're home? I need to be home for my other kids. Like, I need to make sure that, they're not missing out on anything, and I already feel guilty, and I need to like be here for everyone and do everything. And they're like, well, unfortunately, like it's in his hands. Like he has to do it. And I'm like, well, Jacob. No, that's something. But Jacob never ever lost his smile. Oh. Nurses would like.
He's the cutest. He has the greatest smile too.
The nurses would come in the morning. They'd do their treatment. And by 12 o'clock, he was like smiling and playing, and they're like looking at him like, how? Like, how are you doing this right now? Like, how are you so happy?
Strong kid.
Yeah. And it was like nothing ever happened. Like he was just playing. He'd be down, for a little hour or whatever, always getting his medicine. And then he was just up playing and enjoying life and, everything.
They have a lot of things to entertain kids at the Reedy's.
100%. Yeah. He was driving a Tesla around the little room that we had there. He had a little alligator car. Like, he had no problem in the world.
He was like, this is so fun. I'm like at Disneyland for 4 months.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it ended up being 9. We were there
9
total
months.
9 months.
Total between the 2 hospitals.
Yes, and then he had sepsis once.
Oh, shoot.
4th of July, he caught sepsis from his tube being infected. So that was a big scare for us too.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. He had 2 different stem cell transplants because the first one didn't take.
Oh, gosh.
So he had to do it again. His port was changed 4 different times because it would get infected or something's wrong. Yeah. I mean, I still look at his scars and I'm just like, he's you awesome. Little warrior. Like, I don't know. And it's crazy because he'll look at pictures of himself now and he's like, oh, look, I had a bald head. He can't really remember too much. And then we like tell him the story of what happened. And he was like, oh, so I was just sick. Like he doesn't really get it.
That's nice.
And I'm grateful that he doesn't remember any of that
that's
stuff.
Great. What a blessing.
But everyone else does around him. Yeah. But then everyone looks at him just as like, you're the inspiration of the family. Like,
totally.
If there's ever a bad day or anything, we just look at him like, okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. Like anything that we think is horrible or going on, it's not as bad as
you guys live you can see that energy in your family.
It's
very
shifted.
Positive.
He completely 180'd our family. Like from a lot of things that used to matter now don't. A lot of things I used to focus on, I let go less. I let go of it. It's just I had to be in control all the time, and now I'm like, I can't. I'm not. Clearly, God was like, I have a joke for you. You're not in control. You thought you were. Yeah, it's not. That's not how it works.
You mentioned God, and you mentioned how your faith was weak before this happened. So, where do you feel like the transition was when you like clung to God at that point?
The day in the chapel, when I had to actually just surrender and just be like, I don't know what to do at this point. Like, I have nothing else. I have no one else. I don't know. I'm looking around, and Stephen was, I think, the strongest person at the time because he showed no emotion. Like, he would cry here and there, but he never cried in front of me. And I think he didn't cry in front of me because he knew that I would break down more. So I think at that moment, I was just like, how are you I would get mad because I was like, you're not emotional about this. Like, why don't you care? And he's like, what are you talking about? Like I'm dealing with this too. And then the guilt started like, okay, well then maybe, yeah, you are. But we just dealt with it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dealt with it face on, and he had to deal with it behind the scenes and with the other kids.
Yeah.
But you succumbed to God, but you were mad. So I'm wondering how you turned that anger into.
It was just more trust. So my heart, I had to let go. I had to let go of everything and just kind of just be like, I don't know what to do at this point. So I'm putting everything in your hands, and just please, if there's anything that you need to take away, take it away. But just make sure my baby's okay. That's it. That's all I ask. At the end of the day, I wish it was me, not him. But since it's not, just do what you need to do, but just make sure he's safe.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the same prayer I say every night for all my kids. Going into teenage years is saying the prayer all the time.
Yeah. But I know. I have a son in Italy. I'm always like, Lord, just get him home safe.
Yes, that's it.
I mean, we know not every parent ends up with that same
and
comfort at the end of the day. But
we met different parents who unfortunately were going through the same situation as us, and their outcome wasn't as great as ours. And I felt for them in all of that. And I look at them and I just see strength because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I still don't have that, but it was just God. I had to let go and just give in and just, this is.
Well, and I think it's God in them too, the strength when you lose, because, when you have faith, that God is just bigger than us, and we can't even fathom whys, but you have to lean on something.
Yeah. I still ask, like, why? Are you going to give me, like, can you just tell me now? Like, can I just know?
When you get to heaven, Kaila, he'll tell you.
Give me the book. And
I'll tell you why. Look at what it did. It turned his parents very faithful.
Yes.
It healed a relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
It did a lot of things. That's why.
It did.
A
lot of things that you don't look at and you don't really see at the moments when they're happening, but then you see the bigger picture afterwards.
Yeah.
And it brought me to you guys. So that's a big thing too.
Exactly. So on that note, let's talk about, so we called you and we told you that we wanted you to become part of our Charity for Charity family, and you met us. You ended up coming to Peltzer.
Yeah, we did. We came to the pumpkin patch. We got to meet everyone. I was definitely standoffish because I was like, I don't know these people. I don't know what's happening.
You didn't trust. You're like, what are they doing?
I didn't know what was happening. I had no idea what was happening. And this was in October. And then you guys were like, yeah, you guys are going to be part of STARS and everything. I'm like, oh, I don't know what STARS is. Like,
you just got out of the hospital. Yeah. You were just like,
it was a lot. And we're still in the middle of treatment. So it's kind of like going back and forth. But you guys sent us sweaters. You guys just always like lifted us whenever we needed. And it was never like we reached out to like be lifted, but you would just do it at the right time. Like you knew it. Like there was a little sensor going off. Like, oh, they need it today. Like and you guys would do a call or
we have a sensometer in the office.
Yes. It's a call or a text or, just checking in, just wanting to see how you guys are doing and sending gift cards and food and just being there for everyone. And I still remember that Christmas, you guys did the Santa, and Jacob and I weren't able to go, but the other boys were able to go with Steven. And I remember Matthew's face was so excited to see Santa. Like he was like,
because they didn't really know it. They were kind of like, we don't really get this deal. And what are we here for? And all these women going to hug them.
Yes. Like everyone with the hugs, and they're just like, what? Like, who are these people? And I'm like, give everyone a hug, just say hi. And they're just like, okay. Like these two little guys, not sure what was happening with them, but they had a blast. And then it just created a whole community that we never had. Yeah. And it turned my whole Temecula visit completely different.
Well, Stars of the Valley. So we got Jacob and the boys dressed in tuxes, and that little boy, he was 2, right?
Yes,
at Stars.
they were always dressed to the nines.
Oh, they're the matchy family. They're always matchy, but they were all in tuxes, and Kaila in her gown, and
I haven't worn a gown like that since prom. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is a whole different experience, and getting makeup done and hair done, and it was being pampered for a day was amazing. It was completely out of my comfort zone, but it was amazing. And our family luckily was able to attend. Yeah. So we had family there to support and everything. And we had the red carpet. And
so I want to know what you expected before you got there, and then tell us what happened after.
I didn't know what to expect. To be completely honest, I had no idea what to expect. Did
you think you were just going to be in the crowd, or?
Yeah, like it just didn't. It was nothing I could ever have imagined. It was literally like mind blowing. The production, just the energy in the room. You walk in and these people who are just so loving and caring and just attentive and just, they want to like share their love with you and hear your story. And I was like trying not to cry. Like, okay, don't let me cry. You're such a makeup done. You want to look good.
Look fine. Don't cry.
You'll be good. Trying so hard. And then of course, because I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. So it's like naps and like time to go to bed. So it's like, okay, guys, keep it together. Like, keep it together. No one's gonna have any meltdowns here. We're gonna be able to get through this. But it was great. I couldn't, but I will say I broke down during his slideshow. I remember trying to find those pictures and I purposely didn't want to watch it because I was like, I knew. Yeah. But as soon as the music started and I looked over and I saw everyone in the crowd crying, I was like, oh my God. It's like all the ugly tears are coming out now. Yeah. And I looked at Steven. Steven was even crying because it was just like,
well, you're kind of reliving it.
Yeah. Too. But you feel so much love and energy in there. It's different. It like literally transforms you from the moment you step in that room. And then when you get on the stage, it's even like, because the lights are hitting you, so you don't really see everyone. Like, thank God, you can't see everyone. I'm like, I know they can see me, so I'm trying really hard, my hardest here. And I couldn't see them, but it definitely was And there's more.
But that's not all.
I was like, Jacob driving through Pachanga with that car,
little
car. He's the star of Pachanga there.
Yeah, that's totally.
Yeah, he was in love, like everything. Like all of the boys were just like, this is great. We had the time of our lives. And then COVID hit.
Yeah, right.
Sorry to cut you short. We were right in the middle of a giggle. But that's not all. We will be back next week with part 2 with sweet little Kaila and more about what we did this last weekend with our caretaker mom and wives. We had such a fun weekend. So Kaila was there and we'll touch on that and fill you in on all the good stuff. So thanks for listening and we'll be back next week with more Bumbershoot covering life's chaos with humor and heart. Have a fantastic week, everyone. Thanks for listening.